in this race. Silvo Freelance of Switzerland wearing number 6 today. And Leo Berger of France currently lying second, behind only Hayden Wild in the World Triathlon Championship Series standings. So consistent. Yellow Games isn't far behind in the consistency stakes. The Flying Belgium. In 2018, I was there that day. He was
number 63, also representing Israel, Itamar Shivash, Lebanon.
Number 64, representing Latvia, Arturas Lipa.
Very crowded podium indeed, with 70 of them having to find space on there. What it's going to be like now, the first boy. Heaven only knows. Mario Mola is in the field today. The 3-time world champion Mario Mola, wearing number 34. Only his second race since the Tokyo Olympics. Some time out, came a dad. Leo Berger, as I say, currently second in the overall standings, and what a run of results he's had. 4th in Hamburg last month, and that's a run of 6 straight podiums in World Championship races. Can't really be more consistent than that. With consistency, though, comes the level of expectation. See how he deals with that today. Look at the number of men on the pontoon here. Richard Murray on the left-hand side there, whose wife Rachel Farmer finished top 20 yesterday in the women's race. And Helbig will have a lot of home support here. We saw the kind of support that Lara Lindemann got yesterday. As I say, a lot more people are here today, standing room only, and they're 4 or 5 deep on some parts of this course. A real sense of anticipation. We're less than a minute away from the start of this men's Europe Triathlon Championship. Jonas Blomberg, another, will be assured of crowd support. He's such an aggressive racer. It wouldn't surprise me to see some heroics from him on the bike this afternoon. It really is the calm before the storm here. He's had so much success in his home country with his performances in Brazil Barros. Rabbi Hartley means the start is moments away. And listen to that crowd. They'll struggle to hit a gun here. Away we go then. The European Championships are underway for the men. 70 of them in the Olympia Sea, swimming over 1,500 metres, 2 laps. And of course we'll get the first official signings when they come out briefly, having completed that first lap of 2. We expect to see the French front and centre here, the likes of Koenig and Berger and Laporte, and of course it goes without saying Richard Varga, who's led so many races out the water. 49 is his number, You want to see if you can spot it. It is difficult amid the waves, and especially with such a packed field. You can see they're in about 3 groups, and they are going to come to merge together as we continue this race towards the first buoy. That's Tim Helvig, I think. Yeah, and it wouldn't be any surprise. Top class swimmer Tim Helvig. Remember that wonderful win he had in Hamburg in the World Championship Series race. You could say it wasn't a stacked field, but nonetheless helped Germany win the relay in that event as well. Struggled a bit since then, to be honest. He's been well down the field in Yokohama, Leeds and Hamburg this year. Another man I haven't mentioned yet is Kasper Stornes in this race. His moment of glory coming with that Norwegian podium sweep in Bermuda in 2018, where he won the race from his 2 fellow countrymen. Could maybe say he's been a tad disappointing since then, as he has had success in the longer distance stuff, the Ironman 70.3. Actually, Stornes' first race in World Triathlon since he didn't finish in Argentina in May. So 2.5 minutes of swimming. Won't be too long until they come to that first buoy. Just for reference, the women yesterday completed the swim in around about 19 minutes 15, something like that. And Non-Stamford's winning race time overall, 1:52 and change. So I'd expect the winning time today somewhere around 1:40. Chonga Lehman going well. Of course, he was quite brilliant in Tijuí Barosh a few weeks back. I had the privilege of commentating on that race. Kind of made that his own personal property after the last couple of years. So here's the first buoy. No problem for those at the front. But if we get a little look back at those in mid-division, you have got to be so careful. Arms and legs swinging everywhere. You literally could see there, just on the right of your screen, there were triathletes being almost stood up. And sometimes in that situation, when you're 5, 6, 7, 8 abreast towards the back, you've got absolutely nowhere to go. All kinds of horror stories down the years of problems that triathletes have had in congested fields, but they've all made it. How safely or not, we'll have to wait and see. I've seen a few penalties actually in recent races for roughness in the water. There are a lot of officials out there, and in fact the addition of officials was something that the athletes asked for. You can see first to last is a country mile already, but we're really looking to try and see if there's any serious separation in the first kind of 10-15% of the field. What a great view those spectators have on the hill. Absolutely wonderful. Perfect conditions to watch triathlon, perfect conditions to compete in triathlon, and already a frenetic pace being set in the water after 5 minutes of swimming. Mark Divey powering away with that trademark stroke of his. Always find the quickest athletes in the water look to be the ones apparently exerting the least effort. Right, so fun time again around these two boys. Just a reminder that we will be continuing our coverage tomorrow, bringing you the mixed team relay live. So many people's favourite discipline in the sport. Have a look at the start. It looked pretty clean. Just a reminder, time penalties are in operation today. It'll be a 15-second penalty in the box for any transgression. Don't think anyone jumped the gun. Those snappers get wet, but they also get some fantastic shots. We were always going to get fast times in the water. There's absolutely no chop out there. The bay powering away. The two that I'm really interested to see the timings on when they come out, assuming that the French, as we expect, are near the front, would be Mario Mola and Richard Murray. They're the kind of wild cards that you wouldn't expect to be particularly quick in the water, but they've got both great bikers and excellent runners. Murray, of course, coming back after having to miss a year or so with heart surgery. Great to see him back on the circuit. Just great stuff from the Hungarian, though. And he already has, after only 7 minutes 40, he has the swim exit at least in his sights. Has had World Cup success over the years today. And there is a quite significant bit of separation at the front here. We've got about 6 or 7 of them. And then there's some daylight, then there's some clear water. This is really quick. Women were out in around 9:30 their first lap. Men are going to be a minute or so quicker than that. And then the ankle chips they wear will give us the timing. So the day out, 8:35, and they run around and drive in again for their second lap. And you can see there just how much that separation is. Wow. Tim Helbig right up there. Raymond also. Thiago Silva. A little bit of a thumb fight. Then there's about 4 or 5 trying to get out together. Narvor, Konix exactly where I thought he'd be. Gromberg as well. Pereira of Portugal, Pierre Form and Deger, both 23 seconds of grid. Now, we haven't seen the yellow gains yet. There's Priester. Wills of Great Britain, Daniel Dixon. This is serious separation. I haven't seen Mola, I haven't seen Murray. Richard Varga, something's up there. Something seriously up with Richard Varga. Maybe he got bumped on the way round. He's never 45 seconds adrift. Balaka and Stornes way back. Mario Mola 50 seconds adrift. Clearly not race fit yet. Yellow Gaines nearly a minute back. That is absolutely astonishing. Triathlon is not and never has been any respecter of reputation. Big names are a minute behind already. Well, the big winners, the likes of Beger and Helbig and Konix. And we could have ourselves a seriously good little front pack here of 6 or 7. Because already you can see that little bit of separation after that first line of single file swimmers. Then a gap, then some more single file, and then it kind of branches out. And this is after only 11 minutes in the water. Still got at least, 6 minutes of swimming to do, and you would imagine that gap is only going to get bigger and bigger. Wow, some of the big names have been blown away here in the first 11 minutes of racing. There's that old cliche that you can't win a race in the water, but you can certainly lose it. And the likes of Yella Gaines and Mola, I didn't even see Richard Murray's name on that list actually, may have been there, I may have missed it, but Gaines would be the biggest surprise of all.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
Well, the other fascinating thing is the Richard Varga scenario. Can't think that Varga would have been necessarily bumped because he's such a great swimmer. He's normally swimming, if he's not leading, he's in the first 3 or 4. He's not going to have an issue around those boys. And talking of boys, the leaders have reached them again. They are setting a phenomenal pace here, led by DeVay. Slightly warmer today than it was yesterday for the women's race. We're slightly earlier in the day. The time is just coming up to 4:15 local in Munich. And I think the issue for those who aren't going to make this front pack is they may have almost literally a mountain to climb. The mountain doesn't come into the bike stage, they run up it on the run, but they are going to leave themselves an enormous amount of work to do. They really are. Look at this level of separation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7, then a gap, then another 6 or 7, then a gap, and then quite a large bunch in behind. I think the other issue this season, there's been so much sprint racing. We had some Olympic distance racing at the start of the season, and then it's been predominantly sprint in both World Championship Series events and indeed in World Cup races. Now we've gone from that to an Olympic distance. We saw yesterday in the women, it can produce shot results. Well, it did yesterday. Don't think too many expected Non-Stanford to be on the top step of the podium, but she was, and deservedly so. But this is a real statement from Mark DeVay. We saw him last in Hamburg, in a sprint event where he finished 29th. Actually came second in the Hungarian National Sprint Championships last month. 26 now. He's giving something of a masterclass here. Quarter of an hour of swimming in the bag, and the field has been split asunder in Munich. Third largest city in the country, Munich, after Berlin and Hamburg. It's actually the 11th largest city in the European Union. You wouldn't actually know it walking around. So many public parks. You can actually drive to the Alps in less than 3 hours from here as well. Well, the leaders have passed the last boy. The stragglers just approaching the first. That tells you the distance between first to last. This is going to be absolutely fascinating to see how many men are going to get themselves into the front pack when they come out from T1. Virtually penaltyless yesterday in the women's race. Had a whole spate of penalties recently, quite a few in the water, and of course we had that very controversial penalty for Hayden Wild at the Commonwealth Games a few weeks ago. There is a break actually in the World Championship Series. They don't resume until they go to Cagliari in Italy, and that's still some way away. Back here in Munich, the leaders don't have long in the water at all. Coming up 17 minutes. Roger going beautifully. He just rarely seems to have a bad race. Look at this time. He's going to be out imminently. Around about 17 and a half minutes. And when you have a swim that's as quick as that, it is definitely going to split up the field, and that's exactly what it's done. Hang on, 17 and a half minutes for the Frenchman. First man out. Von der Leyen a great swim. Konit's right up there. The four actually got some time back. Before it's actually 15 seconds of work, but today of course is at the front. Now, make sure the goggles go in the box. Don't touch the black for your helmet to come up. That was nigh on perfect. That's the mascot there on the right, I think. That's Friday the squirrel. Being the crowder. Not they need geeing up for the field of this quality, I can assure you. But these guys are going to have an awful lot of work to do on the bike. They really are. Almost more than a minute back. The yellow game's more than a minute back. Wow. I see four, and there are maybe 5 or 6 seconds down the road, and if they're going to catch on, now would be a great time to do it. A reminder, the bike is 8 laps of 5 kilometers per lap, so 40k total. Looks to me as though that group behind are virtually, they're virtually there. And they might have dragged a few off the back of them as well. So we might have, well, we're certainly going to have a double figure lead pack here. It'll take a little while to sort themselves out in the first lap. About 11, there or thereabouts, I make it. And if you were with us yesterday for the women's race, you'd have seen it. There's not too much in the way of climb on this course, but there are some very, very tight corners. It is a genuine test of riding skill. One little pile-up in the women's race yesterday that cost Sophie Alden in particular her chance to finish. Reckon there's about a dozen in this group. We'll get the full details when they come round to complete this first lap, the names and the times, and more importantly, the distance back to the chasers. But the home crowd will be delighted to see the likes of Helvig in there. Now yesterday, the lead group, which was initially about this number, then became 8 after the pile-up, they stayed away for the entire bike until literally they were getting towards T2, and all of a sudden a 20-second lead had been reduced to, well, 4 or 5 seconds at the most. But if these men can share the workload, which they certainly look like they're doing at the moment, albeit in the early stages, we think they have every chance of staying away. Lehmann and Lacour and Helvig, Rivet and Schomburg. This is really good for the Germans in particular. The Portuguese in there, by the way, is Thiago Silva, not João Silva. So the gap is more than half a minute. Tom Richard in that chasing group, Richard Varga further back, and then another gap back. Yet Gaines, Vilasa and Priester have got a lot of work to do. We know Gaines is a great biker. This will be a genuine test of his biking ability. Going to need some men to ride with, unlike this gentleman. Riding solo for 40 Ks is never a good idea. Well, they've done so much hard work in the water, and I think in the early stage of this bike, giving themselves every chance to make this break count. Pereira, the other Portuguese, is there as well. Hungry as hell down Pereira. They look like he was going to be a serious player on the World Championship Series circuit, and then maybe hasn't quite come on as he was hoping to. Of them, and when you see them riding single file like that, you know they are seriously pushing the pace. So 1 lap down. Germans are terrific supporters of triathlon, the World Champion event in Hamburg every year. They get nearly 40 million people riding the streets around Hamburg in northern Germany. And fantastic crowds here today to send them off on their second lap. Westermann is there of Switzerland in that leading group. Azzano of Italy. Yeah, it looked like they were going. So it's about 40 seconds back to that chase group. That squirrel's always on the loose. Friday enjoying himself in the sunshine. means be happy Friday in Bavarian, apparently. Well, the chase group is only 2 at the moment. That's one of the reasons why the leaders are gaining, and normally wouldn't necessarily expect that, but because they're working so hard at the front, single file the whole way, you've got 11 or 12 men taking turns as opposed to 2, then clearly that gap's going to get bigger. Jonas Schomburg, I said at the start, he's one of the most aggressive racers out there, particularly on the bike. We've seen him make little trademark bursts near home on the bike when riding with the lead pack. Well, at the moment, you would think this race playing into the hands of the likes of Leo Boucher and Pierre Lacour, 2 of the best runners in that leading group. But I think they are really pushing it, those men at the front. It wouldn't completely surprise me if a few got spat out the back of the lead group, you know. You can see we got 3 there, maybe trying a little mini break here. Don't think it's going to succeed, but it just tells you what they're thinking. Yeah, they've been hauled in, but they may well try that little tactic again. Schomburg looking really solid. Former Triathlon world champion, Jonas Schomburg. Actually had a decent race at Pontevedra in the World Cup event there a few weeks ago. And after the aggression from today in the water, these guys have got themselves away and gone. 34 seconds, so it's come down a fraction from where we saw it last, the gap back to the chasers. The trouble is, there's only 2 of them in that group. I reckon that these guys you're seeing now on the screen, the graphic, are going to catch those 2. The Tournaise, Yellow Games, they're not making any impression whatsoever so far. No news of Murray or Mola or anybody else at the moment outside of these leaders. There's a few of them still looking to make little breaks, I think. Only on the second lap of 8, so they got plenty of time to try and do that. That's the area where we had that incident yesterday in the women's race. You can see how tight it is, how narrow it is. Certain sections of the course here almost don't have much choice but to ride single file like that. So round they come to complete their second lap. Listen to the noise. Narble and Azano also in that leading group, along with Thiago Silva. We had two riders together last we saw in about 35 seconds, something like that. Well, that's Thorne, and he's now riding on his own. So the two's become a one. That's not going to be bad news at all for the leaders, I tell you. 50 seconds left to the main chase pack. Benassa still way back. Yellow Gain still way back. Priester, Sheldon. Storner's a minute behind. Still haven't seen Mario Mola. Still haven't seen Richard Murray. Sayolani really struggling there. Look, he's a minute and 3 back. So we have our dozen leaders. The French triumvirate, Konitz, Berger, Laporte. Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to be mighty hard to beat tomorrow in the mixed team relay, the French. So nigh on impossible to beat, barring accidents. There's hardly been a moment in this league group where there haven't been single file like this. This is hell for leather riding. This is taking absolutely maximum benefit from the lead that they had out the water. And those who didn't have a good time of it in the Olympia Sea are now suffering. The majority of them nearly a minute behind. Konitz. Now Pereira was taking a turn. I think that's the Thorne of Norway in behind. And he's going to be caught by that little group, and that probably isn't the worst thing for him either. At least they can get the semblance of a chase pack going. Might there be too many in it though, to be able to work effectively as a group and threaten the lead of the 12 at the front? Say possibly yes is the answer. There's our list. Wonderful mixture of nationalities, although those three Frenchmen look mighty, mighty dangerous. So now this is the chase group, the main chase group. There are a lot of them, and you can see already some of the triathletes looking a little frustrated. They're going to need to organise themselves if they're going to have any hope of whittling back this deficit. Still fiddling with his shoes there, Thiago Silva. Kenny Sarzilla. Thomas Tor, that is, at the front. Some kind of an issue there. Maybe just waiting to get a partner to ride with, I think. A lot of the athletes who were involved yesterday in the women's race did say they found the course very tough. So you don't have to have serious hills, which will be a genuine test for the world's best. Huge crowds on this particular part of the course. They get a great view of the athletes going through transition. So 3 laps down, 5 to go. I don't see that they're not going to be even further ahead than they were 1 lap previously. We'll get that confirmed in a minute. Well, that shot just shows you how tight it is on this course. This is probably the widest bit here, but we don't need to wait for that long. This gap is monumental. It's nearly a minute. And that always looked like being the case, and to be honest, you can only see it increasing. Now the chase pack, there's so many of them. See if we can see exactly how many in that group. More than 30, 31 I reckon. Can't see them making any leeway at all. If these 12 continue doing what they've done so well so far. Yeah, the Tour going really well. Born in the west of France, in Vannes. Pierre Lecor, he actually moved to Philadelphia in the United States when he was 16, and it was there that he decided to take up the sport. Didn't go to the Olympics, so it is tough, that French team to get into, but I just think he's always got a point to prove to the French Federation. And there is the huge chase group that we now have in pursuit of the dozen at the front. And this is the great thing about these leaders. If we watch Tim Heldig nearest the camera there, going up on the inside of Westermann of Switzerland, it's that every one of these guys has a shirt to taking a turn. There goes Berger. Berger wasn't part of the French mixed team relay squad at the Olympics, finished third. The pressure to get into that French team is massive. Obviously, Vincent Louis, who's not here racing this weekend, has been the first pick in recent years. How long it'll stay that way, who knows? Because you'd think Berger would have gone ahead of him in certainly all known recent form. And of course they can see the chasers. They know that that gap's getting bigger and bigger. Psychologically, a massive boost for the leaders. And exactly the opposite to those in the chase group. But as you can see, the best part of the minute back still. One road from that facing group, on the captain's corner. Leoane. It is a massive group. But unless maybe 4, 5 or 6 of them decide that they can take a little break off the cut, don't see them being able to do any damage. Because these guys have worked so beautifully between them. They really have. Around the front to complete their 4th lap. 20 kilometers done, 20 kilometers still to go. As expected, the crowd here in Germany really getting into it. Real respect for these guys for getting away. Super impressive in the water. And now making that advantage play big time on the bike. I seriously think that the gap is going to get beyond a minute. Probably the next time we see it momentarily. If it's not, it'll be nice and close to it. "54 seconds, as good as." And it would be utterly implausible that anyone in that chase group could give the likes of Laporte, Berger, and others a minute to start if they don't reduce that gap. Can't see it. All about concentration and about attitude. But it's brilliantly so far for the first half of the bike. Got to keep doing it. Yeah, at the moment, I just think, as I mentioned a while back, that this just plays perfectly into the hands of the French trio. Because on paper, they'd be the 3 quickest. Munich, Laporte and Berger in no particular order. Berger's run actually Over the last few has been excellent. Only the likes of Alex Yee or Hayden Wilde that have found a way to beat him for the most part. João Pereira having a turn at the front. Here comes Helbig to relieve Michel at the front. This looks like they're wonderfully organised, doesn't it? Mark Devane taking a turn. And they will have, obviously, coaches and others out on the course telling them what the lead is, but to be honest, you know, they can see the traces on certain parts of this course, so they'll know they're a country mile ahead. Can be psychologically really damaging and just not making any impression at all, and they're not. If they'd had Murray or Mona in that group, maybe, but I don't think there's a Dutchman or the Spaniard is in there. Certainly their names haven't come up on the list. Great progress, isn't it, for these leaders? Looking tall, looking confident, working together wonderfully well. And it's almost as if they threw down the gauntlet for the others in the race early in the water. And so far at least, their rivals haven't managed to win a bridle. What are you going to glance and blow? So the completion of lap number 5. Winner. We saw three of them, didn't we, on the second lap, I think it was, tried to at least hint at a mini break. That is what transpired. I don't think it's coming to now, although with Jonas Schoenberg in there, you never say never. We've seen him do it a few times. I would guess he might wait until the last lap if he fancies a little solo break. The problem though is when he's done it, even though one of its worst, and he's doing it sometimes with 20-25 second advantage, but hasn't been able to make it pay on the run. Paces have made up no ground at all on that lap. having put the hammer down for 25 kilometres, you can't see them easing up over the last 15, can you? Not going to undo all the hard work they've done. Interesting that lead has stayed around the same for the last couple of laps. Makes me think maybe they just eased down a fraction. Could be, of course, the chasers have picked it up, but I'm not sure there's so many in it. Either way, a minute lead is plenty for the likes of Munich, Triathlon and Berger. I think they're trying to be more proactive, the group in behind. Back with the leaders now. It's almost like they've got it mapped out, isn't it? Berger, and then Schomburg going alongside, going to do some work in a moment. Yeah, the fourth. $32 now he is, yeah. And he was in that winning mixed relay in Montreal before the main summer racing. Not the Winter World Championship, it still didn't was part of the Olympics a year earlier. The strength in that French squad is frankly ridiculous. Thiago Silva at the back of the group there. Portuguese. Kind of Frenchman Chaparral just ahead of him. Esteban also towards the rear at the moment. Chasers don't have that much longer to try and make an impression. Look at the size of this crowd, absolutely fantastic. And they are cheering them literally every metre of the way at the moment. I can't imagine what it would be like when the winner comes onto the blue carpet at the end of the race. So coming up to complete their sixth lap of race, which means 10 kilometres left. They really are riding like a well-oiled machine. Almost like when they came out the water, making a statement. We've done the hard work in the swim. We've got ourselves a lead. You will not catch it. On paper, looks like it might well be a battle of the three Frenchmen on the run, but we will see. Look on the chasers, still a minute behind. It just hasn't been a let-up at any stage. These leaders, German flag, you can see being waved proudly in the background, and they will be certainly cheering the likes of Tim Helbig and Jonas Schulberg here. Those names you see on screen, the men in the chase group. No Mola, no Murray. Had they been in it, maybe things might have been different. Maybe not. The thing with Richard Murray now, he's obviously such a magnificent biker. But he did say to me when I caught up with him a few weeks ago that he's had to, after the heart surgery, can't go full throttle like he used to. So, you know, I'm not sure he even had those two big names. But in that chase pack, maybe doubtful. It would have made a massive amount of difference. I always think that Munich looks one of the most effortless triathletes around. It's got that, I don't know, it's like nothing bothers him, nothing ruffles him. And when he's fit, he's another that very rarely has a poor race. Just like that man, Leo Berger. Comes next to it again. Give the two leaders a hand. Westerman finished top 30 in Hamburg, but he wouldn't look at his most recent results and necessarily have predicted that he was going to be part of this leading group. These 12 came together and they stayed together. Came together very early on that first lap, and now they're deep into lap number 7. It's straight down the Olympic Tower. Well, the gap's come down a little bit, a fraction, but I think it's too little too late. The Yellow Games was putting in a bit of work in that chasing group. 52 is the least it's been for a little while, but leaders only have a lap and a bit to go. Don't think we're going to get a repeat of yesterday, where we saw the women in that chase group almost catch on, literally as they came into T2. Been a sparkling exhibition of biking so far from these 12 men. And they certainly haven't been short of support. So round they come. And they're going to take the bell momentarily, which will tell them they'll be out on their final lap. Not so much we will not be moved, more we will not be caught. They're not going to be. I just wonder if Jonas Schomburg will try and do something a little fancy here. We've done it before many times in this kind of a situation. He's not generally an athlete who likes to stay quiet. He's not a drinking violin, is he? Here come the chasers. Still the best part of the minute. Held it. Maybe Schomburg has decided now to save my leg for the run. No point in attempting any heroics. Got a best finish this year of 18th in the World Triathlon Championship Series. That came in Leeds. That's a sprint race actually. Mark Devay just had a little look over his shoulder, so did Berger. Just checking where everybody is, checking they want to keep this organisation going right through this final lap. Don't want to give the chasers any encouragement whatsoever after an hour and 6 minutes of really tough racing in the water and on the bike. Just looks maybe the pace is lessened a little bit. I mean, the likes of Thiago Silva, possibly Devay, Narbel, Azano, might have not really imagined themselves when they woke up this morning being part of a leading group. Now they are in it, down to them to obtain their best possible finishing position. Massillers. That fantastic third place in Leeds 3 weeks back. Also, he's on top 20 hours of pain, so You know that he can cope with a tough course, but he's way back in the chase group. So fairly shortly, they'll be starting to get themselves out of the shoes and concentrate on not making any mistakes when they're coming to T2. Looks on paper like a shootout between the three Frenchmen. We will see soon enough. Well, that's been least adapted in for a long, long time. I did think that the leaders might just be showing a fraction, but they've still done plenty of damage. You know, 50 seconds, absolutely huge. And they've given themselves the best possible chance, these 12 men, in some cases to get on the podium, and those obviously the lesser runners get the highest possible places. So first battle, let's see you get off the bike before the line. Otherwise, time penalty to fly. Next to the bike is wrapped. One with the shoes. Off with the helmet, and away you go. Looks pretty good for most of them, but I think all 12 are away. Now, who is going to make the first statement of intent? Well, the French looking imperious. Very, very early here. Here come the chase. If they got it down to 3/4 of a minute, what can you give? Phone it, prepare, Latour, 45 seconds. Don't think so. Going back to his side, it's going him. Well, it's a Herculean task for these chasers. They might, the likes of Yellow Games might be able to run through a few in that lead group, maybe. As far as the podium's concerned, can't see it. Well, from the loud noise of the bike back to the relative calm of the run. I say relative. I think the chasers know what a monumental task they've got. You almost got to put it out of your mind, really. Just run your best possible race. See where it takes you. For 45 seconds. Surely too much against triathletes of the quality that are at the front now in the run, the three Frenchmen. Remember, the run is 4 laps of 2.5 kilometres. João Pereira, the early leader. Lacour just moving up though menacingly on the outside. Interesting, Konitz and Berger step back a little bit. Steve Konitz just in behind, he's about 5th or 6th at the moment. Pereira leads from Chonga Lehmann, then Berger, then Lacour. Well, this is a bold statement from the Portuguese. It really is. I said he had that little period a while back where he kind of threatened to be a big name player. Look at his most recent results. He was 7th in Continental World Cup, 7th in the World Cup in Losalco as well. There's nothing to immediately indicate he was going to be as competitive as this. Very early days, though. Very early days. I think at the moment the big story is Berger seems to have dropped right back. And Konitz looks to be... oh no, Berger is right there now. Berger's right there. Right there with Lacour. So Konitz is the Frenchman that seems to be struggling at the moment. A bit further back to the likes of Divet and Azzano of Italy. And their main ambition will be not to be caught by any of the chasers in behind. Try and finish 12th at worst. Didn't take Berger long, did it? At the head of the pairs now. With Pereira just behind him, and Chonga Lehmann. I was saying, in recent weeks, it's really only been Alex Yee, or recent months even, the likes of Alex Yee and Hayden Wild that have been able to outrun Berger. And that's either in Olympic distance races or sprint races. Tell you one thing, this is going to be a seriously quick time. 1:15 at the moment, and they're midway through their opening lap. You really do get up close and personal with the athletes. A little further back, Dorian Konitz and Jonas Schomburg. What's that gap? Maybe 20, 25 metres possibly. And certainly they're two very tough competitors, those two. It won't be giving up just yet in terms of thinking they can't get on the back of the leading four. A bit further back to Narbel and Divet. So our four musketeers come round to complete their first lap on the run. Pereira, Lacour, Berger and Lehmann. They're the four. If they run straight here on the last lap, they'll turn left and run back down the blue carpet to the finish line. So 2 Frenchmen, a Portuguese and a Hungarian at the front here, and they've got themselves breathing space. Yellow Games has got himself up into 12th place. Herrera looks full of running. All 4 look pretty comfortable at the moment. I think the big surprise is that they managed to drop Dorian Koenigs, although he is doing his best to try and get back. And in fact, that gap looks like it may have come down a bit. And he's dragging Jonas Schomburg with him. So they're doing some good work in behind. You could definitely see them making that leading group of 4 a group of 6. Schomburg has got to hang tough and try and stay with Koenigs. Well, no one giving way in this leading quartet. Look at Koenigs, he's running himself up through them. That is so gutsy. It really is from the defending champion. Schomburg desperately trying to make it a 6. Can't tell you how hard that is, especially off a really tough bike. And there you see the task that Schomburg has. He stayed with Koenigs as long as he could. Getting roared on by the Partisan home crowd, and why wouldn't they be? Just not sure he quite has the legs to go with the 5 in front of it. Very brave effort though. Herrera looks almost robotic. He looks like he's full of running. And Berger with that calm persona, Lacour likewise. Koenigs has had to work very hard, and Chongalainen may find the pace a little tough in the next 10 minutes or so. Maybe. Certainly an improving triathlete for sure. And they are now running away from Jonas Schomburg. It is pretty warm out there. Temperature in the mid-high 20s. Schomburg just has to try and keep going. We can guarantee that this comes no worse than 5th. And Koenigs having fought really hard to get on terms, and now it's Pereira who's feeling the heat. Looks like he's the first to crack in that leading group, the Portuguese. Tough work in behind for the likes of Helvig and Dubé and the Austrian Nabel. So now, 3 Frenchmen and a Hungarian in that group of 4. Pereira, the first to go. There he is. Such a tough sport. The swim was phenomenally quick. The bike was full gas. And now, as they approach the end of their second lap, it looks like one of these 4. Very hard to pick a winner at the moment, isn't it? See how quickly Pereira has dropped off the pace. He's got to be best part of 100 metres back now of that leading quartet. Then comes Schoenberg. The athlete you saw just behind the group of 4 was a lapped athlete. Look at this, Chonga Lehman says, I'll have a go at the front. Well, what a fascinating 10,000 metre race this is turning into. 5,000 metres done, 5,000 to go. Lehman, Lacour, Berger and Konitz look like they have the 3 medals between them at this stage. This support is absolutely phenomenal. It really is. Great story, Chonga Lehman, who won in Tuzla Barros in the middle of July. He's from Tizi, as it's lovingly known. And they have their festival there every year, coached by Dad. And I was saying earlier, he's made that race his personal property, but he has now been dropped. So it's the 3 Frenchmen, the 3 Musketeers, as we imagined, that are going to probably fight this out over the next 4,500 metres. Always looked that way when they were 3 of the 12 who broke clear on the bike. Lehman's task now is to try and make sure he gets 4 in such a brave effort. He's only in his early 20s. I think he's potentially got lots of race wins in him, certainly at World Cup level. Lacour at the moment just finding it a bit too hot. In behind, Jonas Kronberg battling on. But it's Berger who's asking the questions at the moment. Berger, Konitz, Lacour. In what's looking more and more like a French podium freak here. Well, no question of kind of running round clumsily, the three Frenchmen. Not so much one for all and all for one, it's every man for himself. That's certainly Leo Berger's attitude, because he's gone. The man currently lying second in the World Championship Series rankings is making a serious statement here. And to put this amount of effort in after the swim and the bike, phenomenal from Berger. Saw in Leeds where it looked like he might have the race wrapped up, only to be overtaken late on by Hayden Wilde. Wilde is not here, Alex Yee is not here, and this man playing to take full advantage, and at the moment looks like he's going to. And getting rapturous applause from this huge crowd in Munich. And look at the gap he's opened up. And it didn't take long to do that. Lepore and Koenig second and third. Then the tiring John Lehman. And then behind him, I'm assuming it's still Jonas Swanberg. In the downhill section, I think he used the uphill bit to really assert, and if that was the plan, it's worked an absolute treat. Koenig is off in pursuit, but I don't think Berger is for catching. Raymond trying to keep going, trying to make sure he at least gets fourth. He's not that far behind Koenig, actually. I'm not sure how far Lepore has gone ahead of his fellow countryman by. Look how deep they are, those spectators. 4 and 5 deep at places, and certainly when he comes around now, the leader, in towards where the finish line will be in 1 lap time, absolutely stacked. So So the music starts. The leader is just one lap away now from the title of European champion. Almost seems to have been permanent French property in recent years. There's the bell. 1 lap to go for Leo Berger. And the lead is 10 seconds from the core. Another 9 back to Lehmann, who's got ahead of Koenig. Wow. That's a great effort from the Hungarian. Obviously didn't think that was going to happen. That's a horrifically brave by the Hungarian. Crowd always love one of their own. Look at Yellow Gaines moving up. He's only 5 seconds now behind Schonberg. I think he's going to catch him. Can he catch Pereira? Maybe. Further back, they're still giving it absolutely everything. Well, he's turned this into something of a procession at the moment as Leo Berger. And in many ways, if he does end up winning this race, it couldn't happen to a nicer man. I was mentioning his consistency. That fourth in Hamburg last month ended a run of 6 straight podiums. That's in World Triathlon Championship Series races, including 5 bronze medals and a silver in Leeds. He's never won the World Championship Series race. He's never actually won a World Cup race either. But he could be here on the path to a glorious European Championship success. Koenig is trying to fight back against Lehmann. That battle is not done with yet. Definitely not done with. There could be a phenomenal duel between those two. I don't think anyone's going to be dueling with Berger though on his final lap. It looks really good. I don't think we are in the least surprised, not just because of his consistency, but on the run in particular. He's just looked so solid this season, the leader. The core still going well in second place, just going past the lap athlete. Listen to the ovation that he's getting Absolutely phenomenal. It really is. They do love their triathlon in this part of the world. You can see how tough McCall is finding it. Nearly an hour and 40 of giving it everything here in Munich. Seconds to lead. McCall's got 11 seconds in hand over Lehman and Konitz. Look at Gaines. He's gone past Ferreira. He just must have had a terrible swim because his run has been off the scale brilliant, Willa Gaines. He's put himself up to 5th. Astonishing. Schoenberg is really struggling. That's in 7th place now. Not for the want of trying. It really isn't. We're back with the leader. The European champion-elect. It's been almost a perfect race for Leo Boucher. He was great in the water. He took so many turns at the front in that leading bike pack of 12. And on the run, and fairly early on the run, he asserted on the uphill section that his two fellow countrymen and Schonga Lehman had no answer. Lehman and Konitz having their own private battle for the bronze medal in behind. Because I don't think we're going to get to Konitz in second. To McCall in second, rather. But up front, it is all about Leo Boucher. But I don't think there's anyone in the triathlon world that will begrudge this man a championship. There's so many near misses in the last year or so. The course still looking good in second place. Got about a 10-second lead over Schonga Lehman and Dorian Konitz. Not far to go now for our leader. Blue carpet must really feel soft on his feet. This is absolutely no bargain, this course. It is tough. That bike course is very tight. And it's a run course that really takes it out of you, especially when they go up the mountain. And he's going to make the turn, go left, and then down towards the finishing line. There's the clenched fifth. So often the bridesmaid in recent races, but he's got the job done today. Leo Boucher of France is the European champion. Brianna Paul will come home in second, and it looks as though Konitz has won that battle with Schonga Lehman for the bronze. It's a terrific run nonetheless from the Hungarian. But it's a French clean sweep here. Absolutely superb. And listen to the ovation here. Jelle Gaines in fifth, Ferreira in sixth. And they love one of their own. Schoenberg comes home in seventh. There are going to be some very, very tired finishes. There really are. Solzilla, that's a very creditable top 8 for him. Westerman, who was in that group of 12 on the bike, finishes top 10. Dushak comes in 10th. That's a great effort. Narbel 11th. So Dushak must have run through quite a few of them. Mark today, followed by Vilaça, the Portuguese, then Pevsov. 1:41.39 the winning time. Decidedly quick. Sheldon, that's a very respectable 15th for the Brit. All the Germans get an extra cheer when they come down the blue carpet. That was Lassaleurs just finishing. Casper Skornes finishes 20th. Again, his chance was lost in the water, along with Jelle Gaines. I mean, how Gaines ran himself up to such a high position, Lord alone knows. Willis of Britain gets inside the top 25. Lozano just couldn't put it together on the run. He was in that leading bike group of a dozen, but disappointing out on the run. Thiago Silva also found it tough going out on the run after his excellent bike. Layla of Britain, another Brit, Barclay Izzard just coming home behind Studer there. Mario Mola finishing 31st, just over 4 minutes behind the winner. Haller of Luxembourg is in virtually every race there is on the circuit. Sergio Baxter. Just waiting to see if we can see Richard Murray finishing at some point. He'd be the other really big name. Peter Lance of Switzerland.
Vielen Dank, Munich.
There's Murray, just inside, 5 minutes behind. So just over half the field have come in at this point. Van der Planck of Belgium. Ukrainian athletes always get a huge ovation for obvious reasons. Just inside the top 40, they're on top. They're trying to get the Mexican wave going in the stand there, I think. Lebanon, the Israeli athlete coming home. Rappo of Estonia. And these men now fully 6.5 minutes behind Leo Berger's winning time. Martin of the Czech Republic, they are finishing very, very weary. And just while we watch some of these runners coming in, it's a good chance to remind you about the mixed team relay that we'll be bringing you tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening. Always drama in that, although having seen the result here, and the way that the likes of Lombardi and Beaugrand ran yesterday, be a brave man to bet against the French in that event. The Swede, Sandor. So the top 50 men are now home. Had a field of 71, but there may be some that will DNF. See how tough it is. That's Noah Servais, the Belgian. Have a look at the moment that Berger struck gold here in Munich. No one in the sport has a bad word to say about Leo Berger, and no one will possibly begrudge him that victory. And what a great day for the French, securing the 1-2-3. Only two of them can run in the relay. I think that's probably the last thing they're thinking about at the moment. And some of the last athletes to finish, the Tarini of Croatia. There is a real rapport these athletes have with the crowd. I reckon he might have blisters. Yeah, a little bit sore there. I really like the way that, you know, the announcer announces them as they come in. And these are guys finishing, you know, way down in the 50s and 60s. They start the music up, the crowd gets energized again. It's just the nature of the sport. They're just 100% triathletes. Gültekin of Turkey. Well, that was an extra big cheer. The Israelis are at. Zoe Zaretz.
Ceremony of our top 3 athletes here at the men's elite triathlon European Championship.
So please stay tuned for the medal ceremony, which will of course follow shortly. That was the moment the French knew they had the 1, 2, 3. And from the moment those, or that trio were involved in the bike breakaway group, you just had the feeling that that would be the result in whatever order. The confirmed results then. Berger-Lecourt-Konitz, the clean sweep for the French. Tonga Lehmann, that's absolutely terrific from the Hungarian. Jelle Gaines, how many did he run through to finish 5th? Pereira looks back to somewhere close to the form he was showing a few years ago. Marc Devey, another good race, as indeed for the youngster Vilasa. Lassaleurs, I think that's probably as good as he expected. Casper Stornes, all chance was lost in the swim, really. Some of the younger Brits a little further down the field. Mario Mola finishing 31st. And Richard Murray 37th. Two of the, I won't call them veterans, that's not fair, but more experienced, more mature athletes. Mola, a 3-time world champion. Murray, of course, has won several World Series races. Then further down, Dan Dixon, the young Brit, finishing just inside the top 50. Crowd have stayed on, the vast majority of them have anyway, to witness the medal ceremony. Little look back then over what we've seen over the past couple of hours or so. The group of 12 on the bike. And the 3 Frenchmen were in it. And the French dominated on the run as well. It's just about the perfect swim, bike, run for the 3 of them. The Tour, a former European champion, had to be content with silver today. Dominance really started in the water. That man didn't put a foot wrong all day. So they're just getting set for the medal presentation.
What are your emotions right now?
I'm so glad to win this title and finally win a race, because I'm used to second and third place. But I really wanted to take the tape first today, and also to share this with my fellow teammates and friends. We really went for it on the bike, and it worked out for Team France.
Was that the strategy today, to push on the bike between the three of you?
Yeah, that was clearly the strategy that we wanted to make, and we really worked together on the bike to stay away from the chase group, and it really worked out, and then we fought for the title on the run.
On the run, when did you think, okay, I have the legs, this is my day today? When did you think this is going to be me today?
I was feeling that we were a little bit on a false rhythm since 5K. So I decided after 2 laps to just make my move and test the legs and see how the others were reacting. So I just went for it, and it was enough to take the win.
Fantastic. And could you please also give me a quick comment in French, just what this means for you to finally get your first win?
Ça fait vraiment plaisir, ça fait un moment que je l'attends, et voilà, c'est comme je l'ai dit, je suis habitué au deuxième et au troisième place. Mais là, d'aller la chercher aujourd'hui, je suis vraiment content, et surtout de le partager avec les copains de l'équipe de France, c'est juste un super moment.
Merci beaucoup.
Translation, I'm absolutely stoked. You heard him say right at the start of that interview, so many second and third place finishes. Now finally, he's made the top step. Fantastic for Leo Berger. And he's making his way round with his fellow medalists and fellow countrymen towards the presentation area.
Ceremony for the elite men.
Siegerehrung Einzelrennen der Männer.
The medals will be presented by.
Die Medaillen werden überreicht durch Renato Berntradi, Präsident Europe Triathlon.
The Champions Flowers will be presented by.
Die Champions Flowers werden überreicht von Franz Xaver Peter Anderl, Präsident Handwerkskammer München.
Bronze medalist representing France.
Gewinner der Bronzemedaille für Frankreich, Dorian Connings.
Well, he put up a really brave defence of his title, didn't he? And that real battle with Chonga Lehman just to make sure that he could step on this podium. And eventually got the better of the Hungarian over the last few hundred metres.
silver medalist representing France.
Gewinner der Silbermedaille für Frankreich, Pierre Lecor.
Who won this title 4 years ago in Glasgow. And now he can add another silver to that esteemed medal collection of his. 32 now, but he's lost absolutely none of his enthusiasm for the sport. Swimming background, but his bike and run today were exceptional.
Gold medalist and European champion representing France.
Gewinner der Goldmedaille und Europameister für Frankreich, Leo Berger.
Well, there is no one above him on the podium today, literally or metaphorically. So many bronze and silver medals. Today, the one he really wanted. And I think everyone in the sport really happy for him. Such a popular triathlete.
The national anthem of France.
Stand by then for the appropriate anthem with these three. The Marseillaise. So a podium clean sweep for the French.
Your European Championships medalists.
And photos with all newspapers, magazines, and of course appear on internet sites right around the world. The French absolutely dominated on the men's side at the 2022 European Championships.
Ja, das war sie, unsere Medaillenzeremonie hier für unsere Top 3 Athleten.
And a word about the crowd, who were absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. They came in huge numbers here at the Olympia Park, and they were rewarded with a terrific race and a very, very worthy winner. Here's the current medal standings then. Great Britain and Italy lead the way with 5 golds each. France now had a 3rd gold. And with the silver and bronze here, they get into double figures, 10 medals in total now for France. Just a reminder, so please join us tomorrow when we'll be bringing you live the mixed team relay. Always a terrific event, and it'll be very competitive, although obviously the French will start big favourites. Until then, that concludes our coverage from me, Trevor Harris, and our whole production team who bring you all these pictures from Munich. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.